Big gains yesterday in the All Strategy Access and 4 other portfolios as they hit equity peaks. We'll go over those results as well as the early trades on Friday, August the 14th. So here's the portfolio calculator. Through August the 13th, the SR counter trend has been the lagger. We're going to go over each one of these. All Strategy Access 77 hit equity peaks. It's up 32,000 on the month. We saw that we had a challenging July. It was down 18,000. It kind of mirrored last year. Last July, minus 13,000. And then August, plus 28,000, plus 32,000. And so we're just, it's consistent. Volatility has decreased. And we are okay with that. We have strategies that trade high and low volatility. And it's been consistent this month, buying the dips. And a lot of the other trades that we've talked about, we've had some range extensions on gap continuations. And nice month overall. Let's look at the drawdown curve. You see we came right down here. We talked about how when you're in a drawdown at the end of the month can be a good time. Those last 7 days of July were just pretty brutal. One of the more brutal periods I've seen. And you see it was a great entry point. Don't get that entry point very often. Last time this happened was over a year ago. So hitting equity peaks now. You see it hit that equity peak right there. All right, let's go over some of the others. The other strategy portfolios, the stock index portfolio 2020, 1900 from an equity peak, big month as well. Tick count trend at 2V2, 1M, and 5M did well yesterday. Those trade 2 contracts each. Those have struggled, and they've made a bounce back a little bit recently, plus 21K on the month for this 19 system portfolio. It's the All Strategy Access 1 workspace, with 4 of those trading two contracts instead of 1. All Strategy Access 2 workspace includes an additional set of strategies for 36 strategies in the stock index portfolio 36. 662.50 from an equity peak, big month as well, plus 20,000, 112.50. And we have 200K portfolio at equity peaks. The 200K portfolio includes the 19 system stock index portfolio, as well as some SR counter trends and some other strategies that you see in this list here. Right here is the additional strategies that go beyond the stock index portfolio 19. Cobra Gold's had a big month, and it just had a loss today, but it had been on a winning streak. So you see good trades here. 200K portfolio at equity peaks. And we are up 29K on the month for that. Let's look at the 2550K portfolio. It did not hit equity peaks yesterday. It had 5 days in a row of equity peaks. Yesterday was a losing day, minus 362.50 and 11,402.50 on the month. Big month for that portfolio as well. And micro stock index and gold portfolio. This went through a fast and rapid drawdown as well. It came right down here near worst case drawdowns. Not as close to some of the others, but pretty brutal, pretty fast, and in a 3K plus drawdown. So if you're trading the micro stock index and micro gold portfolio, it's 1/10 of the normal size. So if you're trading this on the minis instead of the micros, you're trading the MGC, MES, and MNQ. And the reason I call this the micros, you can trade this on the big portfolio, on the big contracts as well. Remove the M and trade gold, E-mini S&P, and E-mini NASDAQ. 10 times, you can multiply the results times 10. And actually, these results are 1/10 of the results for this, because these have longer backtest data. And so this would have been about a 30K drawdown going into the end of July, and then it's bounced back, and the gains would be you'd be up 33K. It would be the best performing portfolio on the month, because the All Strategy Access was 32K, so just the stock indexes in gold alone were up 33K, slightly better than the All Strategy Access 77. So this is one to consider if you want to trade stock indexes in gold. We're requires 34K per micro at TradeStation. So you could trade this in multiples. If you have 100K, you could trade about, roughly 3 of these. And you don't need, 100% of the margin, because I've never seen a net position in all of these, meaning that all the ESs are in a position at once, all the in the same direction, and all the NQs are. This is the maximum margin requirement if all the ESs took a position at the same time and were all net long or net short, and then all the NQs did as well. So multiply these results times 10, and you can trade this on the mini stock indexes and gold instead of the micro stock index and micro gold. The reason I highlight this in the micro because all the others are full contracts, and this is the one setup that has some of our best strategies on the micros. For example, crude oil does not have a micro contract that's 1/10. It has a mini contract that's 1/2, but not 1/10. So wanted to create a portfolio that is based on micros, but it can be traded on the minis. 100K day trade portfolio at equity peaks as well, and so you get the all strategy 77, 200K, micro stock index gold, and 100K that made equity peaks yesterday. And you see the results here, plus 18K, 18.2K. Here is the drawdown curve. You see it bouncing back from drawdowns at the end of July. You see that once again. And we have 2 more to go over, 2 more portfolios to discuss. It's the liquid day trade portfolio 2020, still in a $6,000 drawdown, but is up on the month. It has bounced back, plus 99, 51, 25. And you see the gains here. It's come back from that drawdown. The drawdown curve is right here, so it has room to run up to equity peaks. Looking at the last portfolio, this is the biggest laggard. SR counter trends have really lagged since the pandemic. More V reversals than wave reversals, and so, but it's plus 15.20 on the month, and it's in a 18K drawdown, so it hasn't bounced yet. And so we are looking for the SR counter trends to bounce. It's been the lagger, and a lot of these are in some of the other portfolios. So when this bounces, the other portfolios will be helpful, and it's also the laggards in this have hurt the other portfolios, but we have the diversity, and so good results overall in the portfolios, all 77, and all these portfolios in general have done really well this month, with the biggest laggard being the SR counter trends, but the biggest gainers, the all 77 and the gold stock index and gold portfolio that we have for either the micros or the minis. Now let's go over the trades for Friday. These are the trades on the day so far. SR counter trend has been really a top performer. You see the buying the dips, doing well buying the dips. Bought it yesterday, bought it today. See 5 trades in a row on the screen. This one's an open position, so I think the market wants to close at highs. They're determined to close at highs on a Friday. They've been flirting with these highs all week, the last 3 days, and have not closed at the highs. And nothing's more encouraging for the bulls than to have a Friday close at all-time highs. So they've been keeping their powder dry to keeping it in a holding pattern so that they can probably run this up at the end of the day. It may pull back several times, and at one of the scenarios to consider in a situation like this is for the market to sit in this holding pattern and pull back at the very end of the day, just run up here and close at all-time highs, and you get the breaking news and everyone feels good about it. And so that's the game that's played, and that's what I believe is happening today. SR counter trend 2 taking advantage of that. Gap fill master taking advantage of that dip as well. 2 days in a row of profit targets on that. And you see adaptive moving average. Not a lot going on lately because the range has been so narrow. Down yesterday, on the short side today. We're due for a pullback. Don't know that we'll get one just because we're due for one. And so it's early still, and not many trades going yet. SR counter trend, gap fill master, SR counter trend 2 in this workspace so far. All strategy access 2 workspace. It has QS3 was down on the day, minus 725. We like this strategy, and it has had a good run. It's been on a good run since last October, but down today. Asia 4 long from 33.65 and just kind of holding in there. Only 2 trades in this workspace, narrow ranges, narrow volatility. Last night, Asia Gold 4 got short, plus 975. Gold is a mystery and interesting market to see the kind of ranges. You pretty much have to have a $20,000 trailing stop loss to trade gold. If you're trading it long term and you were using a trailing stop loss, you would be hit on a $20,000 trailing stop loss. That's how volatile this bull market has been and how challenging it has been would have been to try to stay with this market using a trailing stop loss. If you were, you would have had to have a bigger than 20,000, because the high here is 2089.20, the low here is 1874.20, and so a $20,000 trailing stop loss would have gotten stopped out right here. And so 25,000 at least, $30,000 trailing stop loss, and so it's pretty big trailing stop loss. The best way to trade gold is just if you're in a long-term bull, is to be able to get in at these low prices and hold it, even just keep holding it through these big pullbacks. I don't do that because that's not my style. I don't really want to hold through $25,000 drawdowns on one contract. So I prefer the short-term strategies. Asia Gold 4 doing well on the short side. You see all the green bars, plus 975 last night. Grain State Trader 3 taking a long trade, plus 6250. Soybean Swing trading on the long side right here, minus 3750 on the day. Cobra Euro 4 plus 256.25. All Strategy Access 4. Cobra Crude aggressive and conservative, around break even on the day, trying to take the long side. Gold has been happy to be in this $40 to $42 range, and we'll see if it rallies today. Natural gas popping up. We talked about the possibility of negative natural gas prices. We always have to be aware of these things. If crude oil is going to go negative, will natural gas go negative? And I don't know that it will at this point. It's showing a pretty strong move higher, and we'll see if natural gas runs up and makes new highs now. That's a very illiquid market that trades at the extremes. The energies trade at the extremes, so be careful when you trade the energies. Use a stop loss, and don't sell call options in natural gas in the winter, because you can get blown out like the one CTA did in 2018. All Strategy Access 5, no trades on the day. All Strategy Access 6, 60-minute breakout short. We talked about how we lacked this short trade yesterday. So the last 2 short trades were profitable. So surprisingly, even in this strong bull market, we were able to get a couple of short trades going on this strategy, as it's been kind of a laggard as well. There's the 1-minute version. There's the short-only version. Gap fill, reverse crude oil, no trades. ES after hours, no trades yesterday. And then the Cobra 3 with the big stop loss. Those are the trades so far. Let's look at Tick Fader. And it is long today, trading on the long side, buying the dip. And it had that short trade yesterday. And so those are the trades. And it is still early, only 45 minutes into trading. Wanted to give you the updates on the portfolios and the early trade on August the 14th, 2020.